record. And so we'll do recognition like we did last week. Like post it in the team page where everyone's at with Success Club. I think that Nicole is still leading the pack at 8, and then Meg is hot on her heels at 6. So there's a bunch of points on the board, and we have a bunch of people who are just on the cusp. So I can imagine a bunch of us. It's probably going to be one of our biggest months, I think. And I have to say that it's a lot of it is attributed to those 2 groups that we have, which I'm super proud of everyone that's in those. The Success Starters group. If you are a new coach and you're looking to really just set your business off and really start making money and helping people right away, that's the group that you want to be in, because every single coach that's in there, whether they're a discount coach and they're really just starting to launch their business, or kind of getting back into it and deciding, okay, now I'm really ready to take this serious, they've seen success immediately. And it's pretty cool to see brand new coaches get points on the board and start making an income and start really like seeing the ripple effect of what they're doing in people's lives. So that's really rad. And I think those 2 groups have really changed the dynamic a lot for our team and for our new coaches. So that's pretty cool. So what I really wanted to focus on this week was being proactive, and specifically in one area, but I think that it applies obviously to our whole business. And it also goes back into a mindset mentality. And I have to tell you guys, if you have not listened to that Fanatical Prospecting book yet that we put in place this last month, it is like, I cannot get enough of it. I want to listen to it, like each chapter, I want to like rewind and listen to it over and over and over again, because it's literally like a slap in the face for me. It's just like, it's basically just bitch slapping me, and it's telling me like, you just got to do the hard work, and that's it. But it gives you really applicable things that you can be doing. So if you haven't started listening to that, I really highly recommend, if you are a business builder, you definitely get in on that quickly, because it's so good. It's like, I'm going to say right now, it's my favorite personal development book, because it really just applies, it pushes me where I need to be for my business. So, and that kind of just tied in. It wasn't related to why I chose this topic this week, but the reason why I chose this topic was because if you went to Super Saturday, you heard that Beachbody is in some way, shape, or form going international. And we already are. We're obviously already in Canada, but we're going to some other country. And no one really knew where or what country. And it was kind of a guessing game, right? Like we were thinking, like I was like maybe Australia, because it's really big. And if you were part of our team Beachbody last year, you knew that they launched Beachbody on demand internationally, right? So Carl was testing, it was in 140 countries. They opened up Beachbody on demand to 140 countries and tested the waters to see like where people were picking it up, where people were signing up. He did a big campaign. It was free, just like we offer it here, free for 30 days, to give it a trial run and see where it would really pick up speed and which countries they would do really well in. And that was his initial testing the waters to see, I think personally, where he could grow. And so part of me being proactive, I always have a business mindset, and I'm always listening to the trends of what, you should be keeping up on what your company is doing. Whatever company you're working for, whether you have a regular job or this is your only job or whatever, you should always be, paying attention to the company, seeing what they're doing, listening to what Carl, if you don't follow Carl Deichler, he's really open and he says everything. Like he tells what he's doing. He shares a lot of information on his Facebook page. I would definitely follow him, because he always says, this is what's going on. This is what I'm thinking in my brain. These are the ideas I'm having. You want to keep up on stuff like that. So, and get these little nuggets, because they'll drop nuggets and you'll hear things as you listen to the National Wake Up Calls, as you go to Super Saturdays, as you listen to Carl speak. Little nuggets here and there, you'll be getting them and you'll start piecing them together, and you're like, okay. And that's what I do. I like just tuck these little nuggets that I get in and I keep them, and I'm like, okay. So obviously last year they kept dropping the BOD International, and then they talked about on Super Saturdays that they're going to launch internationally somewhere else, right? Aside from Canada, because we're already in Canada. So, I was thinking like, And I kept telling my coaches last year, like, we need to start forming international relationships with in other countries. I don't know where or what yet, because they had it spread out so far into the 140, right? So I was guessing Australia, because it's a really big market. And if you're on Instagram at all, you can see, I mean, Instagram is a very fitness driven market, right? There's a lot of health and fitness and wellness accounts and food accounts and stuff like that. It's really great for our business, but you can see a lot, like for me, I noticed a ton of those, you know, the workout girls. Will even have a lot of girls that follow me that are in Germany and Australia and UK and, you know, in Europe that I can't really do anything with because I can't help them, right? Like nothing's available for them. They can't order anything. And so for me, I was like, well, it's kind of a bummer. But then I started talking to my team last year. I'm like, we should start following these girls back, just forming their relationships, keeping it up, keeping it going. So in doing a little more research, and that's why it's really important this week that I wanted to touch on this with you guys. I was looking into it again because so for me, again, the nuggets are being dropped. I'm in these elite mastermind groups with Melly Mitchell and these top coaches. Another top coach dropped the nugget again and said, Beachbody's going international. We're going to another country. And I have a feeling that these top coaches know, obviously, because some of them are, you know, in the CAB groups and they're in, you know, with corporate and stuff like that. So I'm sure some people know, but they keep dropping nuggets, and they're being proactive. They're reaching out, they're branching out, they're talking about certain things and doing certain things. And so that for me, I was like, we need to get on this right away. If we expect to be an elite team this year, we have to be doing the things that elite leaders are already doing and not wait until that ship has already sailed and be trying to grasp at whatever's left, right? Like, be proactive, start forming the relationships soon. So what country is it? I don't know, but based on my best guess, I mean, this is like doing all my research, Googling the heck out of it, seeing what I could find. I'm like 99.9% positive it's going to be the UK. And that is because in my research, I found that Beachbody Global, there is, it's actually, you can go to, I wrote it down for you guys just to reference, beachbodyglobal.com, I think it is. Yeah, beachbodyglobal.com. It says that they canceled their, you know, when they were in 140 countries last year doing BOD in 140 countries, like testing that out. Anybody that ordered, that people actually did pay for BOD accounts, right? So wherever they were at, South Africa, I don't know, whatever countries they were in, some people bought programs. They bought, you know, the digital unlock where you could buy it just on BOD. People bought programs through that. They bought subscriptions to BOD. They did all that stuff. They canceled it. Beachbody actually ended up canceling all that. They refunded. There's a whole, like on that beachbodyglobal.com, there's a whole blurb that says that they refunded starting in September all the way through this December. They started refunding all of those accounts. So people needed to reach out to them. They canceled it all, shut it all down, except in Canada and the UK. So if that's it, I'm guessing it's going to be the UK. And that's why I'm saying we need to be proactive right now. It's going to be something that you need to implement aside, because you should already be forming relationships however you're doing it, right? You already have your system, your tracking system. So every day you reach out to XYZ amount of people, you send your hey girls, you do your follow-ups, you blah, 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 right? And that's just normal, regular in the United States. And if you reach out to anyone in Canada, if that's on your thing, right? That's your deal. This is going to have to be something that you do separately, that you add into your routine, that you do aside from that, because you're going to build it. Because right now, it's not going to do anything for you, right? Until they launch it, until they say, this is what we're going to do, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going to be. It's really just going to be building those business relationships ahead of the game, ahead of everybody else, building solid relationships with women who will sign up with you when you're like, this is going to be a go, this is going to happen. They're going to be ready to pull that trigger because you've spent 6 months building it up with them, right? So that's what this is going to be about. And this is what I highly, highly recommend you do. And so I have I'm going to read this little quote to you, and it's work. You know, it's either you're going to do it or you're not going to do it. And you're going to be one of the people that are saying it's too much work or it's too hard, but there's language being versus being proactive versus being reactive. And the reactive language is, there's nothing I can do. You know, you're sitting there saying, oh, there's nothing I can do. It's so far away. There's nothing I can do. I don't have enough time. There's just that's just the way it is. You know, somebody else's, these other coaches are, you know, way bigger. They're going to have more time. They're going to have more resources, more money. You know, it's just really frustrating. I don't know where to start. We don't allow that. I don't know if Beachbody is going to allow me to do, you know, what can I do about it? I have to do it. I can't. If only, you know, all of these negative words are reactive language for people that didn't take the time to set themselves up. Proactive language is, let's look at the alternatives. Let's look at what we can do. What kind of different approach can I take? I can control my feelings, right? Because it's going to suck maybe, but I can control my feelings. No big deal. I own an effective resolution. Like, you own it, and you have it. You can find a resolution to it. I choose an effective response. I choose, I prefer, I will. This is all language that is different between people who are proactive and people who are reactive. And this really defines your business, because it's not just about going to another country. This is really about your language that you're using in your business. You are either going to be proactive or you are going to be reactive in your business in general. And you're either going to use this language that is going to say, I can't, I don't know how, I don't have the resources, it's too hard, there's not enough time. Or you're going to say, I can, I will, I'll find the resources. What can I do differently? Who can I reach out to? What can I Google? Let me try this instead. And oh, well, that sucked, but you know what? What did I learn from it? You know, there's only two ways to go about it. And that's just the bottom line. You can't, there's no middle ground. You're either going to do or you're not going to do. And that's what's going to set you up to succeed or have a slower rate of success or not succeed at all. You know, I think as I was like going over this and looking at all of this, I think that's what really sets people up. And I even heard it this morning when I was listening to that fanatical prospecting, is I think that the proactive and the reactive mentality is really what sets coaches up, and a lot of people just in sales in general, to either succeed or fail. Because when you get in that reactive mentality and you don't take the time to set yourself up and be proactive and help yourself ahead of time before you even know what's going to happen. Sure, we don't know what's going to happen. And maybe they don't even say that it's going to be the UK. Is it going to hurt your life? Is it going to kill you to have that many more followers that you've gained in 6 months and people that trust you and know you and like you and might refer you to someone? No, it's going to help you. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to, you know, amplify your business in a great way. It's not going to hurt you or give you any kind of detriment at all, but it will hurt you if you don't do anything. And if you take a negative look at it and say, you know, I just can't, I don't know. That's what separates the successful people from the not successful people, because they go into it. Let's say we don't do it. Let's say I choose not to do it. And I'm like, you know what? I'll just wait and see, because I don't know. Monique doesn't even know if it's going to be in the UK. So why am I going to even try to reach out to people in the UK? Like, what's the point? So we don't do it, right? And then we launch, and guess what it is? It just happens to be UK. That was right. Then you get into this self-pity mode and you're like, oh my God, it's too late now. Like, everybody's swarming, because it's going to be a swarm. When they announce it, you guys, it's going to be a swarm, and it's going to be just like it is. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to start reaching out to everybody over there. All the Instagram accounts are going to be flooded. And then you're going to start feeling like shit because you didn't do it. You're going to start beating yourself up because you didn't do it. You're going to feel like you're behind the game. You're going to feel like you can't catch up. It's all of these emotions that start pouring, and that's when people start to quit, because they feel like they get into the I can't mode, and I'm too far behind mode, and I'll never catch up mode, and so they just quit. And I truly feel like that's what defines success, aside from the coaches that don't succeed, is they give up before they even tried. They already said no, and they already gave up before they even gave it a shot. And that's, like I said, it's not just pertaining to this, you know, potential launch in the UK, but I think it's just in business in general. So I'm going to give you guys 4 things that I think will help us all if we just start implementing them. And you don't have to do it in a big, massive way, but just to, you know, if you say, I'm going to reach out and find 5 new people to follow in the UK on Instagram or Facebook every day, and start forming relationships with them and let them know, you know, you think we're going to be launching in the UK in the next 6 months or so. It's not going to hurt anything, because I guarantee you Summit's coming, and that's when they make huge, huge, huge announcements. And I guarantee you this is where they're going to announce what country they're going to be in. It's going to be at Summit. And that's less than 5 months away or something like that, right? We're creeping up on it. It's close. So I think the first step is, if you're not on Instagram, just try Instagram. I mean, it's the easiest way, and there are so many European accounts on Instagram. So UK accounts are pretty easy to follow on there and find on Instagram. Personally, I found that's like the easiest way to go. You can start searching hashtags. That's really the fastest way to go. And the easiest ones are BBG. Kayla It Signs is huge. She has millions of followers, and she's one of those home fitness girls that started her own brand. So if you just search the hashtag BBG, most of those girls are UK. There's a lot that are here, but you can even search like BBG UK. And most girls that are in the UK have on their profile, like they say where they're from, like that they're from the UK. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why Europeans like always, like the girls that are in Germany always have like their little German flag and they say that they're from Germany. So you can start searching those. Weight Watchers has Weight Watchers UK. So if you look like WWUK or Weight Watchers UK, start searching for those hashtags. I even type like fitness UK and stuff like that, like in the hashtag search in Instagram, and I found a whole bunch. So once you start looking at those hashtags, look for the profiles that you normally would when you're looking at anybody else that looks like there's not coaches over there, you guys. There are some MLMs in the UK that are not over here that are like health and fitness related, but there are way more fitness accounts of girls that are just trying to get fit and healthy and like to share their journey just like we do, that have no idea what coaching is. So those are the accounts that you're going to look for. Start following them, start sending them a message, say, hey, look, I think we're launching in the UK in the next 6 months, and I love what you're doing. And just keep, like you would every day, make 3 times a week, go to that account, like 3 pictures, leave a couple comments. It's just the same forming system that you would use there. Do the same thing on Facebook. Facebook is just a little harder because you can search hashtags on Facebook, but it's not as widely hashtaggy as Instagram. Instagram is specifically, hashtags are used to find things. Facebook, the hashtags are used for like, that's why I put silly, stupid hashtags on Facebook, because it's part of my brand and it's part of like, it's part of my sentence. Like it's not part of anything else, but I'm expanding on what I'm saying. But you can search hashtags on Facebook and it will take you to certain things. Like if you search fitness, it'll take you there. So for that, I would look up like certain magazines, like if there's, like Weight Watchers UK magazine or whatever, and then you can see people who are commenting on those feeds. Or if certain bloggers who are in the UK, just got to do Google search. You got to do a little bit of research yourself, but start thinking of like Jenny Craig UK, or you know what I mean? Like anything that Cosmo, if you like fashion or something, whatever is in the UK, look that up, because big pages like that will be on Facebook that you can start looking at who's following it. You can start friend requesting them and start messaging them and start forming them. And then I think another huge thing is you guys are really good about this in general, and when you're jabbing and posting and talking about BOD and Beachbody on Demand, but start talking about how it's international, because no one talks about that. We are in Canada. Why don't we ever say that we're in Canada? Why don't we ever talk about that, right? Because people know people. Just because you don't know anyone in Canada and I don't know anyone in Canada doesn't mean my 2,600 followers don't know anyone in Canada that might be interested, right? I mean, that's all we got to do. If we don't put the information out, people aren't going to know. That's what we're here to do. We're here to inform people. If people don't know we're in the UK, it's that BOD is already available in the UK. No one's going to use it because they're not going to know about it. It's going to be the people who are telling people this is available that they're going to actually try it and use it. So I think using that as little jabs, like, hey, what's really cool is I help people all over the world, because Beachbody on Demand, that's what I love about it. It's accessible, like not only here in the United States, but I have friends in Canada and people in the UK that can use Beachbody on Demand, and they're getting the same results, blah, blah, blah. It's just little jabs here and there that you can use, because again, it's just, you're putting the jabs out, you're planting the seeds, putting it in there so that people know what's available, so that when you throw the right hook, because the right hook's coming, 6 months, it's going to come. And still, even then, you can still start, and this is what I'm going to give you guys a really good one, because I think this is like brilliant. The next thing that I think you should do at some point within the next, like maybe even once a month, or you decide when you want to implement it, but I'm going to do this myself. I'm going to, and I think you should do it, host a free group, start putting drips out there, and ask your audience if they know anyone, if they have friends or family in the UK that would want to do a free group with you. It's open to UK only, right? Do a free group for UK only, have them sign up for BOD because it's available there. give them a meal plan. They won't have Shakeology. They can't because we can't ship it there. But if they get a meal plan, like how many people have done a free group without Shakeology and they still lose weight? We're still going to get them the results, right? So if they're connected to you and you're helping them and you're forming that relationship, again, it gives you relationships that you're already starting, doors that you're opening over there in another country, and it's giving you tangible results that you can tell people, look what I'm doing. I'm doing this here, I'm doing this internationally, right? So that's an easy way to start reaching that, tapping into that market on Facebook, is hosting a free group there. So that's my, in a nutshell, of what I think is coming up, how I think that you can access it and really utilize it and implement this, not only into your business, but in seeing what you can do potentially if you really use these tools to set yourself up and be proactive on a big launch. Because last year for me, it was Country Heat. That was the big launch that came for me, right? That was my first big launch. Like before that, when I first started coaching, 22-Minute Hardcore had come out, but I wasn't really like thrilled about it. And I didn't really understand how to utilize a launch to my advantage, right? So of something that was like really, really big and different, because Country Heat was really, really big and different. 22-Minute Hardcore, I mean, it was just another like workout, you know what I mean? It wasn't anything super special to me, but that they had some sort of country dance, like that was a big market that I could tap into separately. And so I really took that seriously and proactively, and I knew it was coming up ahead of time. And so I set myself up and I started talking about it a bunch, and I started talking about country dancing and line dancing, and I set up free groups. I set up events and talked about it and did videos on it and did all kinds of stuff, so that when it hit and when it launched, that was my biggest month, you guys. It was such a huge month for me. That's the month I made almost $2,000 in a month. Like it was huge, right? So I learned from that setting yourself up and being proactive in your business and really using and implementing the tools, that you can really set your business up in a huge way. And then it just shows you what you're capable of doing in your business. Like I remember how I felt. I felt amazing taking this action and seeing the fruit of that labor. It's hard work. It is extra steps that you have to take. But if you want your business to succeed, that's what you have to do every day. I mean, that's what's going to define us between the successful people and the not successful people. We're either going to do the hard work every single day, or we're not, and it's going to take us a little bit longer to get there. You know, that's the bottom line. So does anyone have any questions, thoughts, concerns? Is that helpful? So quiet. Does anyone think that they're going to do it? Use it?
Oh, it's worth a try.
Yeah, for sure. Is everyone here on Instagram?
No, I don't know what that is.
Oh, it's fun. It's even better. I didn't have an Instagram account until I started coaching either. I never even looked at it. I didn't know anything about it at all. So I just started small and easy. And I really, even now, I just copy and paste my same post over there. I don't use it as often or as frequently as I do Facebook. Facebook is my first platform, and that's what I focus on. I don't even really focus on my like page. I focus on my personal page. But I do for certain things like coach recruiting, and I have a different focus on Instagram. But for this, I mean, you could use it specifically just to focus on this right now, on just finding UK people to follow. You know what I mean? Like just make that your one little thing, that's your side little thing, so you don't feel overwhelmed by it, especially if you're a new coach and you want it to, you really want to like help yourself with this and be proactive and, launch it that way. If you don't have Instagram right now, or if you do and you're not really utilizing it, just make that your little hobby project where you do your Facebook stuff every day, you get your 3 posts in, or 3 to 5 posts, whatever you're doing. And then, separately make part of, your Instagram, you just plug on there. You still have to post because you have to post pretty regularly. But again, you can just copy and paste your same post on there because people want to see your content when they go onto your page, when they start following you. You can literally copy and paste exactly what you're putting from Facebook onto there. And then just start searching those hashtags and start following people and start messaging them. Because once you start following them, and they're going to come back and see who's following me, and they're going to look at your page and see your content, and then they'll follow you back because they're going to watch your journey just like you're watching their journey. So it's a much easier way to make friends, I think, especially because it's just other people supporting other people's journeys. And I think that's like that probably if you guys are new coaches or new to Instagram and that's not really your main platform, that's probably the easiest way to go. To set yourself up for maybe taking 5 to 10 minutes out of your day, copy your post over there, search a couple hashtags like Weight Watchers UK or whatever, find 5 accounts that you like, that look like, you would like to follow these girls. They look interesting to you. They look like your tribe, right? Because you want to vibe with your tribe. So they look like your tribe. Hit like. So here's the formula. You're going to like 3 to 5 pictures and make 1 to 2 comments, and make real comments on their pictures. Like, you know what I mean? Not just like great job or, whatever. Like you want to be personal. Like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. My kids do this too. They climb all over me when I'm working out, or, I can't get my water in either. Like, that's my biggest struggle too. Whatever they're saying, like, say something back. So quick little comments, and that's it. And just do that a few times a week. And it's, you don't have to do it. You can do it every day if you want to just implement that into whatever your schedule is, or you want to implement it, 3 times a week and go plop on your Instagram and do that. I would say the biggest thing, since you'll be following people and they're going to follow you back, is just make sure every day when you post on Facebook, just slap it over into Instagram, and that's it.
Isn't it where you share photos?
Mm-hmm.
It is. It seems more secure, I think, right? Because it's not as
can
personal.
You speak to like your insecurity with Facebook in the very beginning? Like real short.
Yeah. So when I very first started, so I'll just give you a quick history. I am a survivor of home invasion robbery. My oldest daughter and I were literally, like, it was hours long ordeal. I was nearly raped. She was kidnapped. It was a horrible, horrible incident. And this was like 10 years ago. And so I'm a very private. All 3 of them were caught and found and in prison. But it's still a very scary thing because I think 2 of them have been released, and I'm obviously fearful that they're going to, look for us, find us, whatever, because we sent them to prison. So I am very private. Even people that I went to high school with, I didn't want people to know where I lived or what I was doing or where I was working, because who knows? I don't want that information on the internet because I don't want people to find me. And so I kept my Facebook private, completely private. And, my coach kept telling me, you need to make your Facebook public and you have to add people to your network. And so I was like, no way, because I don't want people to find me, and I don't know where these people are. I don't want them in my business. This is, I have a child. I don't want them to know my life. Right. And so I took way too much elaborate time to, try to exclude people from my posts. I was very careful. I really didn't add a bunch of people to my network. I started a like page instead to see if I could get that going, and it didn't work. I wasted a lot of time, a lot of energy. I got very frustrated, and until I realized that I can control who I'm choosing, right? So I'm still very cautious about who I friend request and who I accept. If they even look slightly remotely like a weirdo, I do not accept them, or I do not send a friend request to them. Like, I mostly request other entrepreneurial women who are like doing the same kind of thing that we're doing, or friends of friends, or family members of, friends of family members. I just go through lists and stuff like that. You can kind of get a vibe of how weird someone is. If they don't have anything on their profile, like not even one picture, I'm not going to send a request because I don't know I can't even get a gauge of if they're a weirdo or not. You know what I mean? Like, and some people like tend to, once I have over 2,500 friends now, which obviously I don't know who any of them are. I started with probably less than 500 when I first started coaching because I was so private about it. But you cannot and you will not grow your business unless you add people to your network, because here's what it boils down to. When you begin coaching or any kind of network marketing company, your social media is no longer a personal thing. It's your business tool. That's it. It's not personal. So if you need to be personal, do it somewhere else, or have a separate account where it's just for your friends and family, or just start sending photos and emails like old school, because your social media is now your business, and that's it. And I've told my family that, my family knows that. Like my brother's gotten too personal on my, like, try to be funny, like in his, not personal, like saying things, but just kind of his jerky ways, like he would be in normal life to me. And I deleted him and I blocked him. And I'm like, you can't talk to me like that. You can't say things like this. This is my business. You don't understand that this is my business. This isn't funny. This isn't family time. Like, this is my business. And these are people who are following me for certain reasons. You can't do that anymore. So you have to kind of just get over that mentality. And I can only say that because I've experienced a horrible traumatic event where my life was in danger. But you still control who you allow into. So my page, I do keep it private. Certain posts I put public, because to me, it doesn't make sense why your entire profile would be public, because then why would anyone add you as a friend? I just don't get that mentality. If they can see everything, why? For me, I don't follow certain people. Like, I don't add top coaches, and I don't even click follow on their thing, because their whole page is public. So when I want to know what they're doing, I'll just go over there and see everything that they're doing. Why do I need to follow them? There's nothing special, right? So for me, it's a mentality thing. Like, it's psychology behind it. I keep it private, my page private, and I make certain posts public, like food posts or workout posts or something like that, so that people who are looking and saying, oh, who is this person that sent me a friend request, can see what I'm about and what I'm doing, and that I'm not a weirdo and that I'm just into health and fitness. I don't put very many pictures of my kids or my family or personal life. Like if I'm, saying how grateful I am for my husband or my kids, occasionally I'll do that, or if we're having an outing, but truly it's really business related. I want people to get a feel of me and who I am. I'm very real and authentic, but I am very controlled in the content that I put out. And that's it. That's what it boils down to. And you have to get in that mentality and get over it, or you will be stuck in your business. Does that help?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest obstacle I have, was just people. Lately I've been adding friends of friends, because, it's people that either look familiar or, people I went to school with and aren't friends with, and just kind of staying around the safety net, but I haven't seemed to have much luck, with people.
So go into their friends. So now you've added those friends, go into their friends list and start adding their friends, and go into their friends list and start adding their friends. That's what you do. Dig into friends of friends of friends list. You have to. You won't, and plus you want to, it's not just being around people who are familiar. You want to be around people who you vibe with, right? It's not just because really, even my own brother, I don't care about blocking him because he's not my tribe. He's way off in a different mentality, thought process. He's not into this at all. And I don't care if he's not around me. That having him as my friend doesn't help my business. It doesn't. And that's what this is about. It's about me growing my business and helping people that need help. And that's it. I can be friends with people in real life and hang out with them, and, that's fine. There's going to be plenty of people who are not going to be interested in what you're doing, but if you want to grow your business, truly, you have to continue growing your network and stepping outside of your comfort zone and push yourself. And it's hard, but once you get over it and you see that you really do have the control over this, then it's not scary anymore.
I also have been doing, I have 5 million Rodan and Fields people on my friends list. And then I dig into their friends list because they're network marketing too. Their friends lists are giant. So, I pick ones that I kind of feel like I would vibe with. And then I go into their lists and pick out the people that I feel like I would vibe with. And, it's my network, same thing with Monique. It started with mine. I think it was around 200 something. And last I checked, I think it was 1,500 in less than a year. So I think that's, helpful to just kind of dig.
Yeah, and you can even start like that, find someone, if you know someone who sells something else like Avon or, Scentsy or Rodan and Fields or whatever, start digging into their friends list and add a bunch of those network marketing girls that sell Unique and stuff like that. They're pretty, I have to say, that's probably one of my favorite things that I do. Most of them won't ever buy anything from me, but I love I'm surrounded by so much positivity. Their newsfeed is all like ours, super positive, super motivating, super uplifting. And then I can also reach into their friends list, but I really like having that around me because it keeps my newsfeed full of happiness. And
and boss babe and powerful and
yeah totally. I like that. Okay, so we have less than a minute and I don't want it to shut down. So does anyone have any other questions or need help? If you guys need help with this, let me know.
You said 3 to 5 likes, and what did you say for the comments for
Like
Instagram?
2.
One or
like
2
comments, yeah.
Perfect.
All right, if that's it, you guys have a kick-ass week. You guys are all doing amazing. Nicole leading the pack. Go girl. And I think Meg is about to diamond. She's really, really close. So anyways, you guys do good. I'm proud of you. Love you. We'll see you guys soon. Bye.